Here's Rachel Gilmore herself. Max, if you're going to tag me in a tweet, attack my work, and fuel the deluge of hate directed my way, you could at least be brave enough to not do it from behind a block. That means she was blocked on Twitter. Rachel Gilmore was one of the authors of this smear that we talked about a few days ago that called people inciters of violence without a single piece of evidence shown. Not one. I took you through the story. Remember, that's what I really went through. So she can smear you, but you can't clap back at her. That's abuse. Look, I think people are fed up with the media lies. Look at this. Check this out. I thought this was interesting.
I'm going to do a quick video here showing you CBC, showing a couple of people. Right? Look at this. Their camera, they're setting up to point in this direction. Remember that. Now let's turn around and show what's really happening here. Our news media will not cover this. They point at a couple of people. Meanwhile, this is what's really going on. Unbelievable. If you needed any more proof that it's corrupt.
That's right, it's corrupt. It's all corrupt.
Here it is.
Freedom! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it?
This is what Canada's about. It doesn't matter. It's starting to
What do we want?
Look at that amazing journalism, CBC. All you have to do is turn your camera in the other direction.
A citizen journalist was pointing out how the CBC was positioned, their camera, to minimize the number of trucks and people in the shot. Look, they lie to you because they don't work for you. They don't work for their viewers. They work for Trudeau. They've got their marching orders while he's going into hiding. Today was an exciting day. We literally had 10 Rebel News reporters in the field today, on the road, in London, Ontario, in Hamilton, in Port Hope, en route to Ottawa. We'll have a lot more coverage on the weekend. It's important because the liars will be out in full force. But I got to tell you again, I'm not that worried about the liars. I'm really not that worried about the Globe and Mail and the Toronto Star. They're just trying to please their paymaster, Justin Trudeau. I'm not that worried about him. What I'm worried about is a Canadian version of the FBI Asian provocateur, Ray Epps. Some RCMP or CSIS agent, some Antifa provocateur doing something under a false flag, whipping up people or breaking some law while pretending to be a trucker. That sounds crazy, but it's actually a Canadian tradition. I don't know if you know this, but the leader of Canada's most notorious white supremacist group about 20 odd years ago, it was called the Heritage Front. Maybe you've heard of it. The leader, Grant Bristow, was a CSIS agent the whole time. He was literally paid by the government to set up a racist group and promote racism. That is a fact. It's a bizarre fact, but it's a fact. The Canadian Human Rights Commission literally had a staff member, Richard Warman, go online, join various Nazi groups like the Daily Stormer under some pseudonym, and publish hundreds of racist posts. They do this because they're screwed up in the head, but they do this also because the demand for hatred and violence exceeds the supply. They need the hoax as a pretext to censor the internet, ban protests, force through even more brutal laws. That's what I'm worried about. A Grant Bristow. I'm worried not about the truckers. I'm worried about Trudeau. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.